Now, in its 11th year, this is GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Down to Florida as we do once a week to talk to the lovely and attractive Lori Thompson.
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
Who hasn't aged an inch since I knew her.
Oh, I love the way you lie, Pinocchio. Your nose my eye out.
Well, I mean, I was looking at some video of you today from the radio show.
Uh-huh.
And, you held on to the looks, I mean, you're getting a little older,
Yeah.
But do it with great dignity like I have.
Yes, that's it. That's the thing. Age gracefully. I pray for that every day.
Age gracefully, yeah. Well, anyway, she's been having trouble. Usually we do 2 of these at a time, but today she says, I can only do 1 because my throat is shattered.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I just don't want to scar. That's my main thing now. Don't scar.
Did they talk to you about not scarring?
They talk to you about overusing your voice,
yeah,
which will scar.
Well,
and I haven't been talking a bunch lately. I don't know what the scoop is. But it's, the cancer's going away on schedule. I key on that. So
yeah, but the thing is that your throat, it will scar. Is that what they're saying?
Yes. Well, the thing I noticed right off without any background information was that it fatigues. When your throat fatigues, you fatigue. It then emanates to your whole body.
Yeah.
But you want to prevent scarring, and talking through hoarseness can
really?
initiate scarring. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, if you do it on a regular basis.
People don't understand. Our voice is everything to us. It's our identity.
It is.
It really is. And I'm very lucky. Some people say my voice hasn't changed that much.
I don't think it has changed an iota. Yeah.
So that I'm just as young as I've always been if you just hear me on audio, which I'm thinking of going to. Because as I get older and I look at myself in the camera, I go, huh?
Oh, that's just like, it's neat because you don't look that different to me. But you like to see the character of a person. You've always been a character, nudge, nudge, wink. But it's just, I like the character of a person.
It was an old saying I had that if you're not good looking when you're young, you're not going to look too bad when you're old.
Right. Right.
Because when you look really good when you're young and then we see him on television or something, we go, what happened to him?
I know. You only have one way to go.
And the only thing that happened to him is he got older, or her. They got older.
That's it. Yeah. And don't get face work. Man, botched face work it's so, and there's no going back.
Oh, I've had my entire face done.
Have you?
No.
I was going to say, you spackled it?
I spackled it, yeah. Well, I put on some makeup here because I have a little rosacea here.
Oh.
So I put some makeup on up here, and I just realized my makeup is running out, so I have to get more.
Okay, well, don't do the Michael Jackson route, which is get that illegal prescription from a doctor. Nick.
Well, there are people to whom face work, surgery, plastic surgery, they call it plastic surgery, but I don't think there's anything plastic about it.
No,
plastic, facial surgery, they get addicted to it.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like tattoos. They get addicted to tattoos.
And the trouble is, after a while, you get to look, like that.
I know. It's horrible.
And with some people, like Barbara Walters, there's a thing that happens here. It's kind of a crease, kind of a, you know what I'm talking about?
I know that there are certain peculiarities to bad face work or too much face work.
The only thing I've had done, and I had it done for not for cosmetic purposes, but for medical purposes, because it was covered by insurance, was I had my eyelids lifted, because before you can see my full eyeball right now, right?
Yeah.
But before it was like, down here.
How'd you get insurance to pay for that?
Because because medically they can say he's not seeing as well as he should, and he needs the surgery. Yeah. Okay. Now, if I wanted to have the bags taken out at the same time, they said, "Well, we can do it for an extra $5,000 because you're already in the surgery room, so we have that taken care of." But and I went, "Do I need it or don't I need it? I don't know."
Yeah, because I've thought about that. Get the bags taken care of, and I think I still might do it.
Also, this might be nice.
I know there's no hope for that, man.
Huh?
Nora Ephron wrote a book called "I Feel Sorry About My Neck," or "I Feel Guilty About My Neck," because and plus, if you have throat cancer, it does erode your jawline. I mean, maybe not noticeable much to other people, but I notice it for sure, and it pisses me off.
I can imagine it does. So anyway, and now I also have a thing that he wanted to do to prevent my tearing in this eye here. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he said it might work, it might not work. It's surgery; it'll be taken care of by, insurance and so on.
Yeah.
But it may work, it may not work.
Oh, so yeah. I mean,
there's like 3 weeks of recovery or something like that, and I'm going, what do I need that for?
Yeah,
but I may go have it done because I'm tearing a lot in that eye. So
well, and with plastic surgery, I do think it's better to err on, to be conservative, because the bad ones are just so glaring.
Well, also, it depends on the person who does it. I mean, there's some people who are masters at it, and you come out and people never notice out of the fact that you're just looking younger, that you've had work done. But the fact is that sometimes the work is terrible, just terrible.
Oh, it's awful. Like in Los Angeles, there are a number of plastic surgeons, and the thing is, I swear, it worked on my first of 12, my first of 2 boob jobs, because you just ask people that you suspect. You don't have to say, "Where'd you get your boobs done?" But you can say, "Do you know of a good breast augmentation person?" And they will, if they've had them done, they'll tell you right away. They may not say he did mine, but people will tell you. And the name that keeps popping up is the one you go with.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had a good one in San Francisco, but you said
awesome.
You said you were complaining about the one you had in where? Mississippi.
Yeah.
You could almost make a joke about Mississippi boob jobs. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's like I say, I thought it was just kind of a correction. I didn't know it was going to be like take the old ones out for like a month and to let it heal. I don't think they would have done that elsewhere. I think that they would have known another way to do it. But
wait. If they take the old ones out, they can't put the other ones in for a month?
That's what he claimed, yeah. And I just don't think, I thought a lot about it. It was like, is it just an overall Mississippi misogyny among the medical community? What is it? What was it? Because
if you had done it, say, in California, which is the home of boob jobs.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Which is why
you probably wouldn't have had to go through that. They probably would have said, we put you on there, we pull out the old ones, slap in the new ones.
Yeah.
Of course, you say there was under the muscle and over the muscle?
Over the muscle, for me, was 10 times better.
Yeah.
And they tell you can't ever do push-ups again. Well, I do push-ups because they flatten your stomach like instantly.
Yeah.
And the second experience was not good.
Yeah. Well, here we are talking about medical problems, but what we're talking about is boob jobs. So now that you guys are through jerking off listening to this.
What do they do with chins?
I don't know about chins. I just wear a beard.
Yeah.
I mean,
because eating chins, I've kind of developed an attitude about. I'm not real crazy about them.
What, you got a chin problem?
No. I don't. Mine's not Kennedy-esque, but I've always had a prominent chin. But I see it in other people, and I equate it with weakness or uncoolness or something.
Yeah.
And I got to get over that bias. Yeah, I got to get over it.
But I mean, like for instance, with Biden, I wondered why Biden didn't get his eyes done.
I don't know. I think at that point,
and when I'm saying getting his eyes done, exactly what happened to me is lift the lids.
Yes.
So the full eye can see stuff.
Yeah, because people associate low-liddedness with a number of things.
Well, he looked bad that way.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, you look.
It would have just made him look a little more awake.
Yeah, it would have helped.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are a number of, you can get nearly everything done. I think people do get addicted to it if you got the means.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Michael Jackson is a perfect example. I mean, he was a good-looking guy.
Oh, yeah.
And why he went and had all that stuff done?
Well, I think that he was an emotionally tortured individual. The childhood those kids had under Joe Jackson was not good.
Yeah, well, I think he also had a bad case of vitiligo.
He did.
Which is the changing of the skin color. So he had to wear makeup, I think, for that.
Yeah.
But, I don't know if there are any operations for vitiligo. I don't think they can fill in the white spots or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think they can. There's probably not. There might be medication you can take.
Yeah.
But then that becomes a whole other ball of wax.
But so I've never gotten anything done except the eyes were done because the doctor kept saying, you got to have that done so you can see better.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I've done. And that's not cosmetic. So
not really. No, that's so you can see better.
And I mean, I've thought about getting cosmetic surgery. And wait a minute, look at this. I'm stuttering here. Look at that.
You're waving.
Look at that. Look at that.
It's like an LSD.
Wait a minute. Let me just let me do something here and see if it makes it any better. Let me go here and do that and see if that's any better. Yeah, well.
Isn't that the essence of life?
It's just all better now. For some reason, it started doing something.
That'd be a good epitaph. It's all better now.
Yeah. I mean, Zoom does crazy things now and then, and I have to compensate for it. So otherwise, you're feeling okay? I mean, or the throat bother?
Yeah, it's just drag to have a scratchy throat all the time. So
and does it just happen to you, or does it come on slowly?
It comes on over the course of a day. And I thought, I've cut out anything with a sharp edge, like tortilla chips, I've cut that out.
Yeah.
Or anything that could be hard going down. But my throat is smaller now. It's constricted. So there's a little thing they can do to open it up, a surgery procedure that I might have done in Birmingham. Just to...
I would think twice about it.
Would you?
Yeah. Here's why. We don't know what it will do to your voice.
That's true.
So as long as you don't have to do it, don't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what, like I said, of all the cancers out there, the only one I really worried about was throat cancer.
Well, it always goes to something you use a lot, like it went to my penis. Okay.
Oh my gosh, you must have locked yourself into a room for 30 days.
Well, you know something? Erection is a thing that's a fond memory. Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
And people say to me, well, does that bother you? And I go, I'm 85. For 83 of those years, I had a lot of fun with that thing.
Oh, yeah.
I can't complain that it's not doing the job it's supposed to do.
You wouldn't drive a car for 85 years. Kind of the same.
That's right. Exactly. And cancer always seems to go to the thing you use the most.
I guess, I know that. Plus, I used to think it was just like blah, blah, blah when they said, have either of your parents died of cancer? And then, but no, one of mine did. But she had a bunch of them. She really mixed it up.
Yeah, but in your case, you got the one thing you had a fear of getting.
Yes, and I wondered if that factored into it at all.
I don't know that it did. I just think you use it a lot. You know.
And once again, identity. It becomes part of your identity.
I'll tell you how and people are going to find this. Maybe they're going to find this boring or interesting. I don't know which.
Well, we hope interesting.
But when I was started out in radio,
right,
I had a rather high voice, a high pitched voice, and somebody taught me a set of exercises that would lower my voice. Me, mom, 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 mom. And then you do that, and your voice is a little lower. But also the other thing that I was taught was if you can't feel vibration in your chest when you're talking, you're not using your voice right.
That makes sense because it's a diaphragm.
Your chest has to vibrate. So then everything came from the chest rather than from the throat. A lot of people talk from their throat.
Yes, exactly.
I talk from my chest. I mean, I can literally feel it vibrating right now.
Yeah, and breathing exercises helps a lot.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was my entire way of handling my voice, and it's lasted a long time.
Right. See, that's what they told me when I got into news, because I was a disc jockey at the very beginning. And I love jockeying. I love it. To think about what you could say that was meaningful and or informative, entertaining over a 7-second intro. I love that challenge every day.
I hated that. I got out of music as soon as I could.
Man.
Because here's how I felt about playing music, about being a disc jockey. You're using somebody else's talent.
That's true. That's true.
You know? So
I realized that right off. So I thought it is up to me to make sure that they're not getting cheated for those, 7 seconds or 20 seconds.
Right.
I'm saying the record, we know that's good. I deserve, and that record deserves, for me to have something worthwhile to say, not just, hey, we're W blah, 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 and it's 5:02. I thought they deserve some information delivered in a fun way. Yeah. And that made it everyday fun.
Yeah, I got tired of being a disc jockey. I started out as a disc jockey. Obviously, we all did.
Yeah.
Even Rush Limbaugh was a disc jockey, for crying out loud, and I think being a disc jockey taught you a lot of stuff. Gave you a lot of
good disciplines.
That when you finally went to talk, a lot of those skills followed you.
Yes. Yes. Oh, yeah, they did. Timing. You can pretty much talk for 30 seconds and know in 30 seconds.
Well, I told Marjorie the other day, I said, I don't know if I can do it any longer. But when I was working in this business, if you told me, okay, 30 seconds starting now.
Yes. You could do it.
I could tell you when the 30 seconds was up.
Right, because we were used to reading 30-second copy.
Yeah, and I could do a minute and tell you when a minute was up. I didn't have to see a watch. I could just do a minute. I don't know if I can do it anymore because I haven't,
used it.
Had to use it for the longest time. The other thing was, being a disc jockey, you learn how to talk up to what they call the post.
Oh, I loved hitting the post.
Yeah. In other words, the post is where they have the beginning of the music, and then the person starts singing is the post. Okay.
Yes, unless there's a significant drum sound or something.
Yeah, but I was very good at always, no matter what the record was, talking right up to the post. There was almost you couldn't put any distance between the end of my voice and the beginning of the singer. I was
not the eye of a needle.
and as a disc jockey, you take great pride in being able to talk up to the post.
Yes, you do. Ben Fong Torres, who I know you're not a big fan of, but he wrote a book about radio. And then he did a book signing in the Haight, and he had an engineer set up, and Bobby Ocean was there. And he talked about things like hitting the post and then gave examples. Ocean would talk, and the engineer would play.
Yeah.
It was very fun.
I was always very proud of the fact that I could talk up to the post.
Oh yeah, it's just one of those disc jockey
But I
points
mean,
of pride.
just do it really so there's just you couldn't put a hair in there.
Right.
That we took great pride in. These are the things we took great pride in.
Yes.
And when you were a disc jockey, that was fun. The only thing is that disc jockeys then went to voice tracking, and it's kind of harder to talk up to the post when you're not hearing the record.
There's no thrill in it, even if you can move the post to just start when you finish talking. There's not really a thrill to that at all.
Yeah.
And even, it's so much better when you can hear the music because you become part of the song.
And by the way, the other term I hated was disc jockey.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of insulting.
Yeah, demeaning.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's insulting. It's kind of like, oh, what are you? You work in an office? Are you a desk jockey?
Yeah.
And they go, oh, that's insulting. And I go, yeah, so's disc jockey.
Yeah, I knew you weren't crazy about that term.
I jockey discs? No.
Well, it was just, it might have been funny when the first time it was uttered. A disc jockey, because they play records, get it. But then it just became demeaning.
There was also the other thing, people don't know about this particularly, is slip starting the record.
Oh, man, I can still do that. I practice whenever I'm at a friend's house and they have those techniques, turntables.
When people started, when they started having disc jockeys in clubs and they started going woo, 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 woo with the records, I went, I was doing that all my life, just getting ready to play a record. What you did is you put the record on, you put the needle down, then you let the record go a little bit. You're not on the air right now. And then you literally slipped it back to before the sound started on the record.
Yeah.
Okay. And then depending on where you worked and you knew how fast the turntables were, you knew how much time to back it up.
Yes. That was the art.
And then you would start the record by just pushing the button to get the turntable to go. And if you had it right, you got it to the point where you didn't hear it going
right. Because if you didn't slip cue, that's what they called it, it would do exactly that. Warm up.
You would slip cue it so that it had time to do that in the silence.
Yes.
And by the time it hit the actual sound on the record. So that's the thing people probably never knew disc jockeys or record players did, talent did, to be playing music. And these were skills that you had to learn. And people would think, oh, you had to learn how to talk and how to read a commercial. No, you had to learn how to slip start a record.
Right. Yeah. Something to attain, a skill, a marketable skill.
Yeah. So we've just told people stuff. We just demystified radio completely.
Pretty much. I think that's been done by now.
I think that's why I like talking to you about this stuff, because you understand it more than almost anybody I know, because you came from a generation kind of that I did, where we did this sort of stuff. The kind of skills you had to have were skills you no longer need. I mean, now, what do? All the stuff is digital. It's
on a screen.
It's a file. You just push a button, or the file just plays them, in order.
Yeah, because I've been through, when I started, we still used records, and we also used carts that looked like 8 tracks. And then the next iteration, I think, was CDs, so we use those, and then every iteration, and
people say, why, Alex, did you go into doing talk? Mm-hmm. And the reason I did talk is I knew that in talk I had more control over the product.
Sure.
Than I did if I was playing records and stuff like that. Because if you're playing records, they told you what to play, when to play it, how to play it, what promo to read before you did it. But in talk, once you're talking, nobody can really stop you.
Right.
Really, you're talking. And so it doesn't have the same problems that you have when you do, whatever. When you're playing music. And so I went into talk because I said, nobody can shut me up, basically. And that was true. And it's true to this day. They've never been able to automate talk shows. They've been able to syndicate them, which has taken a lot of people off the air.
Oh man, it's taken so many jobs.
But they haven't been able to, in any way, automate that process.
Right.
So, good for talk. That's the reason why I went into talk.
Yeah, they're every technology. That's why radio stations are such Frankensteins, because they get one piece of equipment and it's the hot thing, for 3 months, and then they get another piece of equipment that's the new hot thing, and they have to make it compatible with yesterday's.
Well, I got news for you. With AI, they don't need you.
That's right. This is true.
The other day, I decided I'm giving up. I said, I'm tired of, I can't type like I used to. I can't think like I used to. I can't write spots like I used to. So I need to do some promos for GabNet, okay?
Yeah.
And I simply piped in what I wanted. I said, write me a 60-second promo for Alex Bennett, blah, 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 blah. And then I waited about 30 seconds, and all of a sudden it started printing up the whole 30-second spot, which if you read it was 30 seconds to the second.
And did you feel that it captured the essence of the show?
Yes, better than I ever could.
Wow. Scary.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't my voice. There wasn't a voice associated with it, although I could put a voice to it. I could then say, okay, use AI to have somebody reading this and give me a young male in his 30s. And all of a sudden, you've got that. I can also record my voice and have it use my voice as a basis for reading the spot, so I don't even have to do it.
Yay. We don't have to lift a finger.
So basically, you and I, in our present way, we're done with,
Oh yeah, I'm so glad. I thought if I can just make it to retirement, then I will be a happy person. I will have felt.
How old are you now?
Retirement.
Oh, you made it to retirement.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
And they send you these checks in the mail. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It comes from
every
the
month.
government. Yeah.
Secret Service or something.
And we get pretty good sized checks because we were working pretty continually over those years. So
we were. Yeah.
I get what do I get now? I get something like $2,600 a month.
Cool.
And Marjorie gets the same thing because she worked a lot longer than I did.
Yeah.
And between us, we get about $5,200 a month in just that. I also get about $1,000 from AFTRA.
Mm-hmm. That's neat. That's cool.
Well, it would have been nicer if I had worked under AFTRA for a lot of years.
Right. See, that's it. The station Live 105 was not an AFTRA
And they
station.
say, Alex, but then how do you live on that? Well, somebody died and left me a lot of money. Okay, let me just say that.
The American way. That's how I
every now and then, Marjorie and I were in France. We were on our little vacation for about 5 days in Paris. And one night we were drinking. She was drinking, and I had a Coke. And I said, "Here's a toast to Shecky. Thanks for the vacation."
Love it, bro. Yeah, that is a nice coup.
But now I've got a bigger problem. Let's run over here. I don't care. You're not talking that much, are you?
No,
okay.
I think I'm good. I'll have some of my yogi herbal.
I think we'll go to 30 minutes on this one anyway, because I want to get my money's worth out of you. What was I going to say? You
were talking about inheriting the money.
Yeah.
And so we were talking about Social Security for a minute.
Oh, okay.
You're in Paris.
So now I'm really. Oh God, this is weird. I'm completely out of sync.
Out of sync?
Yes, completely out of sync.
Does that mean your mouth doesn't match what's going on?
Yeah, right.
The image?
I think maybe you're out of sync too. I have no idea. I don't care, folks. I mean,
the sync cops are gonna come to my door in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And arrest me.
Well, let me see here. Let me see if I can do something here.
You're pretty good with video. You can usually, tap a couple buttons.
There, and then I go to Zoom, and I'm fine now. I'm close.
See, I wish I had you for all our TV problems. Bennett's here. We'll ask him.
Let me see here. Let me do this. Let me see here. Am I in sync? There,
Are you
I'm more
synced?
in sync than I was.
You're a boy band.
Oh boy, this is really this always gets to me. The sync.
I know it bothers you. I know it because it's like who's taking over.
Sometimes I don't notice it. Wait a minute, I got to do something here. Sometimes I don't notice it.
The ghost in the machine, you don't know
until I look over and see another video here, and I go, God, I'm out of sync.
That never do.
Anyway, where were we?
We were talking about you in Paris.
Oh, yeah. So thank you, Shecky. Really nice. And the fact that we don't worry about spending money anymore because we can't spend it fast enough. Because
isn't that
Marjorie
great?
and I'm 85, she's 81. We are not going to last a lot longer. I don't know how much. It could be. I could live another 15 years.
You could easily. Yeah, your mom was.
I could live another 10 minutes.
See, I wake up feeling that every day, like living my life like that.
Yeah.
If it happens today, I'm fine with it.
So the question is using up all the money before I die. And Marjorie,
you can always leave it to me.
Marjorie has a bad knee.
I'll be a pal.
Marjorie has a bad knee and is thinking of having a knee operation, and those things take forever to heal and get better.
I have heard that.
And then we won't be able to take any vacation at all. And I'm having trouble walking a little bit. I don't know, So how long do we have? So should you get,
have you thought about getting a hip or a knee replacement? They do those now.
Supposedly a hip replacement, you walk out the next day.
Ours had one, I think.
Knees are a different story altogether.
They take a lot more time to heal.
Oh, yeah. I don't have that problem, but she does. Terrible.
Oh, wow. Well, be sure and do the physical therapy because I had two friends who had knee operations, knee replacements.
Yeah, you got to do it.
At the same time.
You got to do it.
One had physical therapy. One was rigorous about it, her physical therapy. The other one was not. And it took the one who was not like 3 times longer to heal.
Yeah. So. Just exercises. Anyway, hey, listen. I've made you use that voice way too much today. We have done 31 minutes here so far.
Well, I'm just going to wrap myself in ice packs, and I will really, and
we'll do this again next week, same time, same place.
Yes.
And give my best to Rick.
Okay. And my best to Marjorie.
Oh, I will. And we have a cat staying with us, so I'll give your best to the cat as well.
Oh, you have a couch cat, a couch floater.
Yes. Yeah.
What? How do you? Is there any friction with your cat?
I don't have a cat.
Oh, I didn't. I was thinking you had one.
No.
Well, you like that? It'll be good for you to have.
The cat's got the whole house to herself.
Oh man,
and this apartment is 5 times bigger than the one she lives in, and she's just,
Yeah.
I think I'll take a stroll down the hall. Okay. Anyway, thank you so much, Lori, for doing this for us today. I hope next week you're feeling a lot better and we can do 2 of these. But we do what we can because we love you and we adore you, and we couldn't do this without you.
And the feeling is mutual.
Ladies and gentlemen, the lovely and attractive Lori Thompson right there. Bye, Lori.
Bye.
Now, in its 11th year, this is GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
And a big thank you to Lori Thompson for having been with us this evening and doing that thing with us, in spite of the fact that her voice was having a few problems. Okay? All right. Okay. I'm trying to adjust. There's something wrong with my voice here, with my audio. I don't know. I don't get it. I may just give up on everything. Yeah. Hi. How are you? It's Wednesday. Too bad it's not Friday, but it's Wednesday. And we do this again on a Wednesday. And here we are, and here we go. And there are some people who want to join us. At least a handful of them. Let me see here. Admit all. Come on, admit them. Okay, there we go. And I go this, I do this, and I do that. And we see Kevin, and we see Josh, and we see Charlie. Hello, Charlie. How are you? Charlie's connecting to audio, as you can see. He'll have it in a second. Okay, there he is. Hey, he's connected now. Hello to all of you. How are you?
Hey.
Yep.
Real good.
Y'all enjoying yourself?
Sure, I am.
Oh, yes. You have a big smile on your face, yeah. Well, because you've got a relationship now. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah.
Yes, it is wonderful.
I'm happy for you. I'm delighted. That's why I always mention it. You've always got this shit-eating grin on your face. You know, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I feel like I won the lottery.
Yeah. And hello to Kevin. Kevin, are you having any problems with your neighbors lately? We seemed to be having them last week. What?
No, not now.
They had a dog that was like barking too loud or something?
Yeah, well, they're all gone, so they're fine now.
They're fine now? Oh, okay. Let me
Come home and gone to work.
oh, hold on a second. I got to turn some things up here. There we go. There we go. Talk to me now, Kevin.
Check. Hello, hello.
Oh, wait a minute. Now it's too high. Talk to me, Josh.
How you doing?
Okay, and talk to me, Charlie.
Hey, Cowboys.
Yeah, I guess we're doing okay now. All right. Okay. Yeah. For some reason, my adjustments have changed over the last couple of days. Anyway, how y'all doing? We're getting ready for the big parade. What is it, this weekend?
Yeah, Saturday, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what's going to cost us $16 million for this parade?
How much?
More than that,
16 million. No, there's a charge of 16 million that is going to be assessed for something.
Times 3. They said it was 48.
No, that
Total.
48's the cost of the parade.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was not included.
What's the other cost? 16 million to repair the streets after these tanks ride on them.
Because of those tanks and stuff.
I thought it was for dickheads.
Yeah.
Cake or something.
I don't understand any of it, to be very honest with you. You know?
Eco trip.
Do I sound loud enough, by the way, to the rest of you?
Yeah, you sound fine.
Oh, we're fine. Oh, okay. I just want to make sure I'm sounding okay. All right. Anyway, it's going to tear up the roads in Washington, D.C. because they're not meant to have these kind of parades. I mean, Red Square has reinforced itself for those kind of parades, okay? But it's disgusting. It's horrible. You know, it doesn't get any better, does it? You know, and quite frankly, I don't feel comfortable about tanks rolling through the streets of our nation's capital at this point. Because what's to say they're ever going to leave?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. So.
Parking spots all the way around the building. He's doing everything else to the frickin' building.
Really? Like what?
Digging up the garden.
Yeah.
What are they going to put in?
Pavement.
No kidding. Really?
Yeah, they're chewing up the rose garden and they'll put pavement in there.
But for what?
For his ass.
Yeah. For him.
Make it feel like he's in Mar-a-Lago.
He doesn't like they're gonna do seriously, I'm not making this up. They're gonna do a Mar-a-Lago style patio.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Those roses have been there, 120 years or 130 years?
Yeah, I'm not making it up. I could probably send you the screenshots if you want. I sent it to these guys a little bit ago. I mean, he says
I heard he was going to do it a few weeks ago, but
they have a lot of events there, and when it rains, the grass gets too wet and it's squishy and muddy.
Yeah, the chairs sink in. Yeah.
And they don't have that problem at Mar-a-Lago because everything's nice and patio and concrete and all that. So they're gonna put in a patio like they have there at his club.
How much is that going to cost us?
They didn't say.
They didn't say.
I don't know if it's so much the cost. It's just the fact that,
that
garden has been there for a long fucking time.
I mean, yeah, but the garden's been there forever, and the garden should be there, and the garden's nicer than a patio.
Yep.
But the point of it all is, how much is it costing us? And then the next president that comes along, he's going to pull it out, and put back in the roses. How much is that going to cost?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they redid the rose garden the first term. Remember, his wife went out there and had it all fixed up or whatever, and they didn't go that far. So now they're going to totally. I don't know, really. I mean, it's been there since 1913. So in 115 years or whatever.
This is what happens.
Have a problem with
this
it.
is what happens when you get a Gentile as president. It's terrible. It's terrible. Oh boy.
He's the only one that's had a
paradise
problem.
and put up a parking lot.
Yep. I'm thinking. I just this whole thing is just everything's just getting so crappy. I mean, what California? Here's the best part. What's happening out in California? He sends how many troops out there? He's sending how many Marines?
700 Marines.
700 Marines. Couple of thousand something, isn't he?
4,000 National Guard, yeah.
4,000 National Guard. And is that National Guard from California or National Guard from elsewhere as well?
California.
California.
Mm-hmm.
Neighbors on neighbors.
and today, all the people who were demonstrating decided to go home. So now what are they guarding? My suggestion was that they should all go home, and then, of course, the troops will leave, and then they can go back and riot again.
Which is what will happen.
Yeah.
I mean...
Well, they had like 10 times as many National Guard as they did demonstrators.
Yeah, I mean, it's very stupid all the way around. Plus, I would imagine that there is something against him using the National Guard from California, which only if I'm not mistaken, the governor can call up, right? Am I right, Josh?
Well, they can federalize state National Guard units or the entire state guard in full.
That's
he can
under
nationalize parts of it.
Insurrection and whatnot, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean he can
bunch of
he can nationalize parts of it and command them around just the same as active duty.
Yeah, but I mean the fact of the matter is that this isn't really an insurrection, is it?
No.
I mean, you couldn't get him to call out the National Guard for on January 6th.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You couldn't get him to call it out then. Why is he able to call it out now? And isn't basically the governor of the state the one who can call out the National Guard?
Well, the governor can anytime he wants. The president also can anytime he wants. In our long tradition, it is hardly ever done without the request of the governor. Some of the only times that it was when the governor clearly was not going to request it during the civil rights movement because the governor was not interested in civil rights.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, some of the times that it got skipped. I don't see this deal here as anything on that level, at all, obviously. I mean, as far as American protest goes, this one's, pretty weak. I mean, we've certainly seen, I'm not criticizing their cause or anything. I'm just saying this isn't, 1968 Chicago, right? I mean, it's a couple blocks of people. A lot of nonsense went on and all that. I'm not going to deny any of that, but I don't think it warranted.
It did. It
You
didn't
know.
warrant him sitting there saying that the city is burning down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
there's
what he
this.
was saying. That if it hadn't, if you hadn't sent him in, the city would have burned down, is what he said.
there's
And
this
then all
old
the
belief-
water, if they would have burned, like the houses burned up, but I turned on the water and all the water came down.
Yeah.
He's
There's
just full of bullshit.
You know, there's this old line from the show The West Wing one time where the Joint Chiefs tells the president, if you do this thing you want to do, you're going to dole out $5,000 worth of punishment for a $50 crime. You know, that's kind of what we're seeing here, you know, is $5,000 worth of punishment for a $50 crime. I mean, it didn't really require a mass force. I know they're trying now, you know, oh, it was preemptive and all that. I mean, no, it's really not. It's a game for the TV, which he plays well, and they play into him well. And the protest people aren't really helping their own cause, to be honest with you, through their actions. That's not helping. They are only helping him. You know, if they were to have a more organized message and a new or a better organized group, if they wouldn't do certain things like destroy property, you know, that would certainly help their cause. I don't think that you're only helping him when you fly the Mexican flag, you know. And I'm not saying everyone was, but I mean, even if just two people were, that picture got out there. It's on the cover of the newspapers. It's, you know, even if it was one person, they can show the same picture 500 times. They're not helping their cause when they do those things. They're helping him make them look stupid, you know, which is not good. You know, I mean, they're not advancing their agenda in any positive way. They're only hurting it. If they were to go up against him in the smart way, where they could constantly do the right thing, knowing that he will then do the wrong thing and make him look bad, they would have a lot better chance of success winning over, you know, the American public. But, you know, I mean, I know people, plenty of people who I guarantee would say, hey, you know, they got a right to protest, everything's cool. It doesn't bother me that they're doing it. I think he kind of overreacted, but, you know, look at this Mexican flag crap, you know, and then they lost me there. You know, I mean, you know, that's probably not smart, you know. Just protesting because you're mad, I mean, it's fine if that's what you want, but I'm saying, to me, if you're protesting and whatnot, you should have a plan. You know, what's our message? What do we want? I mean, you know, and I don't really see that coming from them, you know. They don't seem to have like a spokesperson or, you know, I mean, like I said, this isn't Chicago in 1968, right? There's no Abby Hoffman hanging around here telling everybody the message, you know.
I was in Chicago in 1968. I was at those riots, as it were. And yeah, it was not really all that, you know. Even then, I don't know if there was, the riots were really being caused by the police, not by the demonstrators, because I was there. I mean, I saw them just plow into crowds and start beating them with batons, and I saw tear gas and so on. That really isn't the case here. But, you know, once you got troops in there, you got troops in there. That's the part that scares me.
Yeah, it's not right. I mean, that's why it's typically not done, is because it almost always never has you know, nothing positive ever comes from it, right? You know, I mean, I live in Ohio, right? And, you know, the whole Kent State thing comes up every year on the anniversary here, you know, where young National Guardsmen not really into that whole thing, you know, and you know, some people died. So yeah, nothing really good comes from that. But that's the thing. We're not dealing with someone who cares if something good comes from it. He wants, you know, what, you know, the police in Chicago wanted. You know, they want to smack a few of them around, hoping that they wig out and start fighting back. You know,
his big saying was, "If you spit, we'll hit."
Well,
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
if you spitting is not very lethal.
No.
Yeah.
It's disrespectful, but it's not lethal. And so you're going to reply to spitting with hitting, and hitting with what? And you're giving the troops permission to do that, is what you're doing.
Well, that one Australian reporter that was just standing there reporting on what she was seeing, you can see a cop behind her just deliberately point the gun and shoot her in the head.
Yeah.
With a rubber bullet. So she's bleeding and everything from the rubber bullet.
Yeah, well, the thing that really kind of, the smartest thing I saw in this whole demonstration, listen to this. This is great.
The Nike store looting? The Nike store looting?
No.
No? Okay.
By the way, your microphone's too loud there, Brian. I don't know.
How about now?
Turn it down a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still better now. Okay. Anyway, my point is that what was it? Oh, that the smartest thing anybody did. You know these Waymos?
Yeah.
That were set on fire. You know how they got there?
They summoned them.
They called the Waymo using the app, and they showed up at the demonstration and they set them on fire. Now, why they went after Waymos, I have no idea. It's not what.
There was a lot of stuff there. Like I said, they just make it. They make it too easy for Trump's team to convince people that he's doing the right thing. That kind of stuff doesn't help. I saw, some kind of clips of some kid with a skateboard, smashing out all the windows of a news van or whatever. The news is there, theoretically trying to help you by covering your calls. Why are you so that's what I'm saying. Things like that.
Yeah.
This kid didn't even look like he cared about anything or whatever. He's just screwing off, So, it's not like the protesters have any control over these people. But that's the thing. When you have a protest like that gets into that sort of level of getting out of hand, outside people start to show up unrelated to your cause and make trouble, and they end up making trouble for your cause.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate and sad, but it is true. It happens all the time.
Well, the thing is that there wasn't that much going on. You got to realize this was in a very small part of L.A. According to the president, L.A. is on fire. It's burning. Quite to the contrary. Right. It was just in about one block of New York City, of Los Angeles, rather.
Right off the highway.
Yeah.
Right off 101 there.
Yeah. So, that's not like all of L.A.,
Right.
And
it was burning down.
Now
we need to open the other valves to get some more water down there.
We're having demonstrations here in New York now. They're starting to happen. And I wonder if he's going to send in troops here. He doesn't dare send them into New York. Well, of course, we got a mayor who owes him something. So, no telling what would happen if he tried it here. But anyway, it's just all insane, and it's happening. I never thought the day would come that I would actually see American cities under siege, and for no reason at all. Gavin Newsom could have very nicely taken care of this situation, pacified everybody, made the people who were demonstrating feel they were being heard. He could have done all of that. Instead, he's got this goofball coming in and screwing up everything. So anyway,
good distraction too. Last week everybody was talking about Trump and Musk, so that's gone away.
Well, also they were talking about what about the Epstein
files.
Yeah, and all of a sudden this thing comes up to distract us.
Right. Yep.
Why can't we do two things at the same time? Why can't we do that?
Shiny object.
Is that it?
Squirrel.
Yeah.
Squirrel.
Yeah. So I don't understand it. Makes no sense to me. But I mean, what we should do is not give up on one thing just because he starts something else up. But blame it on the news operations because that's all they talk about.
Yes.
You know. I was thinking about you this weekend, Brian, because we were watching Godfather 2.
Ah.
And
Al Neri.
Al Neri. Right.
Yeah, when I was a kid, my godfather said Al Neri was. Yeah, I know. Yeah, a stupid Italian family. Yeah, but yeah.
What do you mean it's a stupid Italian
family?
No,
my family, my godfather and grandfather, they played jokes all the time. So when I'm a young kid, they kept telling me, "Oh yeah, that was your great grandfather and all this stupid stuff."
Oh, I see. Okay, all right.
I hated it. I almost went to school with those things, but nobody watched The Godfather back then.
Yeah, well, we watched it. We watched 2 again. Yeah, yeah. I don't know why. We just said, "Hey, let's watch it." And it's a good picture. I liked it better than the other Godfather, the first Godfather, when I first saw it. But now I've changed my mind. I actually like the first one better.
Yeah.
But anyway, let me see here. What else is happening? Anything happening in the news that I know of that isn't, anything happening? Josh, you're good at, no, you don't follow it either, do you?
Not as, as much. I tried to watch CNN a minute ago, and I don't remember what they started talking about. I just said, I don't care.
Marjorie's decided she's not going to watch the news anymore.
Good.
Yeah, whatever they came back from their 45-minute commercial break and started talking about, whoever it was, I gave him like 15 seconds, and I said, nah, back to something else. You know
what I'm getting to enjoy, actually, is the CBS Evening News. They're doing a rather solid newscast in which they are not just, saying quickly, here's what happened in L.A., what happened, blah, 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 blah. Now what happened here and what happened there. Instead, they will actually take a story and spend some time on it and have a larger explanation of what's going on and so on. And I think it's really something I've been waiting to see happen in news for a long time now. But who knows how long that's going to last, because Sherry Redstone caved in and is paying Trump some money over that 60 Minutes suit, which any decent lawyer worth his salt could have won.
What? Yeah, it's not, it's stupid. I mean, I've been ignoring a lot of it. I am aware, the parade on Saturday. We will be gone, as you know, but I'll be back to the hotel by then. It's going to be in the evening. It doesn't even start, I guess, till like 6.
Wait a minute. It's a nighttime military parade?
Well, I mean, not 6:30 at night. I mean, I guess if that's not, well, they're going to conclude with a fireworks display, after like 9:15 or 9:30. So they, have to have it be dark for that, of course. But we'll be back by then. I kind of take a middle ground on. I don't really think we should have done it. Or if we did, I don't know that we needed to include. I don't really have a problem with the parade for the Army. I don't know that we needed to include a lot of the hardware, because I do just. As far as optics go, it does put us in the same realm with some of our totalitarian enemies, if you will, and I don't really like it. It's not terrible or anything. I just don't particularly care for it. But if they're going to have it, I mean, it is good for the Army. I like that it's the Army's 250th anniversary. It's good that a lot of those people are going to get to have some.
Yeah, but what are we going to do when it's the Navy's 250th birthday?
Well,
the
they're
Marine
actually
Corps or the Air Force.
well, they're having the Air Forces will be a lot later, but the Navy and the Marine Corps is in October and November, like a couple weeks apart. They are going to have at the end of October, I believe it's at the end of October, they are going to have a celebration for that in Philadelphia, where they are going to sail a bunch of ships up and down the Delaware River through Philadelphia and have some events there for a couple days. The president is not going to go. The White House doesn't have anything to do with it.
I heard he was going to declare another birthday.
Yeah, he might. I mean, the thing, with Saturday, I don't, care for it. So, like I told these guys earlier, like I'll probably go back to the hotel and I will check it out, but I will watch the C-SPAN feed. They will not pan the camera to Trump and Hegseth every, 90 seconds. No one will give me commentary about it. They will put some cameras up and down some strategic areas. They will show the men and women and the equipment, as they should. And I doubt very seriously there will be very many shots of Trump.
Mussolini and fireworks in the background.
Right. So they will not, he will try to make it about himself, of course, but their feed will not permit that. So, I mean, if you want more of a neutral way to check it out and not, and sort of, say, okay, I can support these people that are in the United States Army. They don't have anything to do with it, right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're just told to show up. This is what you got to do.
Well, let's
they don't have a lot of choice in the matter.
Let's for a minute talk about what went on in Fort Bragg over in the last couple of days.
Another shit show.
Well, to begin with, military was there, okay, but only military members who were pro-Trump. The non-pro-Trump people were not allowed to be there.
You couldn't tell.
But you couldn't tell because everybody was cheering for Trump.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. Well, you want to talk.
I was looking for the black guy that says black military for Trump.
Yeah. So I mean, but
it's always in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that he talks about the news managing the news. He's managing the news, isn't he? When he does that, of course.
Dog wagging the tail. Tail wagging the dog, rather.
Yeah. So anyway, it's really a show of something, but it isn't a show of anything that I can support. To begin with, I know that it's nice of you to say you believe in honoring the Army and so on. I'm not of the same feel and bent as that. Because I feel that armies only have one purpose, and that's to cause wars. In spite of the fact that people say it's used for defense, very rarely. They're basically used for aggression. And the Russians celebrate their military, and other countries celebrate their military. I think we should celebrate our military by giving them good health care, for instance, when they get injured and have to come back to the United States. That's where we honor our troops, and we honor the people who are in them. But you don't just, to just honor them like this is jingoistic. And that's what bothers me about it, Josh. Call me a commie. Okay, go ahead. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, however people, if people don't watch it at all, I don't mind that. I mean, I don't know that I really.
Well, I don't like the fact that it's
either way,
I don't like the fact it's taking money out of my pocket.
Well, another reason I said I wouldn't have done it is I don't think that with their current message, that sort of extravagance is appropriate. I mean, they're the ones saying, that we're broke. I mean,
exact same thing I was telling you Saturday that's happening here. They're going to have this biker rally, yet they're cutting all the local workers here 10%. They're trying to avoid putting another $4.5 million against the to pay the fire departments, which we have very little of. And, but we're going to have this rally for the bikers. And I'm a biker and I like it, but I think it's the most stupid frickin' thing.
A rally for the bikers?
Yeah, well, this is where the wild one with Marlon Brando was all based.
No, it's real famous. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay, so
and we've always had this rally, but after since 2017, they didn't have it because number one, it was a shit show. It was it became a T-shirt show and a bunch of motorcycles, and they lost money every time they did it. So they said, okay, hold the bus. We're not going to do it again. Then COVID hit.
Yeah.
They signed a five-year contract with a promoter, and then the COVID hit. Now they're trying to bring it all back, and they're doing it at this time when they're, $30 million in the debt.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to put out $500,000 just to pay somebody to do this thing. Plus, they don't have the right security and the whole bit. So I'm not having nothing to do with it.
Right. Anyway,
I'll go down and try and sell my bike.
It's funny. Nobody is talking on our chat tonight.
Saw that.
Usually it's like crazy there are people on there. Even if it's the same guy over and over again. Oh, well.
But I mean, you're right. The optics just suck. It's just, if we're, trying to save money and everything else, and you want to go and spend all that money on that, there's got to be other places to cut.
You want to honor your troops. You want to honor people that have gone into places where they were at risk for their lives, and maybe they lost a limb or something like that, and then they come back to the United States, and you give them minimal care, and you don't really care about them. You say how we honor them and we care about them. Let's haul out some tanks and have them drive down the main street in Washington D.C. But don't take care of their health. In fact, what did they do recently? Didn't they take money away from that?
Yep.
They fired a bunch of veterans.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they aren't being taken care of. So don't tell me that you want to honor the military and you can't do the basics.
Yeah, it's not a good idea to spend that much money on something like that. I mean, if it was really about the Army for 250, I mean, I can support that. Like I said, it should have been something a lot more scaled down and a little bit more focused.
I think with the money they're spending on this parade, we could probably hire a hooker for every military person and give them a little present.
I wouldn't have minded if they had done something instead of in D.C. If they probably should have done something in Boston, which is where the Army was born. So
yeah.
Like
Trump has any sense of history,
right? But I mean, I'm just saying, for the 250, look, the Army basically was birthed in the siege at Boston, right? When the Continental Congress adopted the Massachusetts and surrounding militias, and then began to send volunteers from other areas, and they appointed Washington as head of the new Continental Army and sent him to Boston for the siege, waiting on their cannons from Ticonderoga to come over, and that's what got it all going. It would have been probably a little bit better to me.
I thought, if my history serves me right, that what came from Ticonderoga were pencils.
Cannons.
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 Yeah. Oh, well, another thing is in Fort Bragg, he made a speech. And he talked about World War I. Or he thought he was talking about World War II, but he said World War I. And then he said, if we hadn't gone over and fought that war, we'd all be speaking Japanese and German now.
Yeah.
Well, the First World War was defended by the Japanese, helped us to defend World War I, didn't they? They were involved in it.
Yeah, they were an Allied power.
They were an Allied power. And so why did he mention World War I? He didn't mean World War I. He meant World War II, but he doesn't know the difference. He's in a coma. I mean, if you think Biden had mental problems, this guy's becoming a real treat.
Remember he called 9/11 7/11?
Did he really?
Yeah, two times in one speech. Yeah, 2 times. People down at 7-Eleven. Yeah.
Oh boy.
I have a mini mart in my building called 911.
Mm.
Oh.
Do you really?
Yeah. Because they're open 9 to 11.
As opposed to 7 to 11. Oh boy. So how are you doing, Bree? How's everything in Malaysia?
Well, hanging in there.
Is everybody
I'll be
getting
up in
all
Penang this
jizzed up
weekend.
for the big parade here in Washington, D.C.?
Nobody really cares about that.
Oh,
here.
okay. All right.
It'll probably get in the papers. I don't know. I'll watch and let you know.
Yeah. Do you read the Malaysian papers?
Yeah. I have an app called Press Reader, and I know where the hotspots are. It costs about maybe like $40 or $50 a month if you want it. But if you go to the hotspots, it's free. So I just go to the hotspots. And,
What does it
download.
translate the newspapers for you?
No, it does not.
So do you know how
but
to speak? Well, how good are you at Malaysian? Is that the name of the language over there? Or am I wrong?
No, you're right. It's Bahasa Malaysian. Saya bercakap bahasa sedikit. I speak a little.
Yeah.
But
What he
I also
said,
speak
everybody. What?
我说中文一点点.
What? Is that Malaysian?
That's Chinese.
That's Chinese. That's what I figured. I learned a couple of things in China while I was there, but just a few. Because
Like what?
Well, I can't remember now. Booyah means leave me
Booyah.
alone.
Booyah, I don't want. Booyah,
Yeah. So when a guy would
And
come
in
over to
Shanghai,
me,
you say booyah, booyah,
is it booyah?
booyah,
Booyah.
booyah.
Yeah. So I go,
Booyah.
booyah, get away from me with those maps. I don't want to buy them.
Yeah, don't want.
You know.
Don't want.
And when I'd say that, he would go away. So I figured I was doing right by it, you know. But I couldn't. In the 2 weeks we were there was very little Chinese we could pick up, you know.
Yeah.
Plus, the people we had around us, even though they were Chinese, spoke English. So, you know, when people are speaking English to you, there's no way you're going to learn it, you know. But,
Yeah.
you know. So, anyway, well,
But a lot of the newspapers, Alex, are in English. There are, because, you know, it's kind of like VOA used to be, or you know, or the New York Times International Edition, or you know, sometimes they want other countries to read. They want their neighbors to know what's going on in their country. So if it's in English, that's sort of a universal language that, you know, around. So there are English language radio stations. There are English newspapers. Not so much television. That you'd have to know the local language, but you know, if you want English television, you would get it from abroad. But newspapers and radio, you can definitely hear English. Even in Thailand and Taiwan, they usually have one radio station. Like in Taiwan, it's called ICRT, International Community Radio Taiwan, I think.
Yeah.
And then in Pattaya, Thailand, there's a really good station called Fabulous 103 FM.
do they have a
Really
jingle?
good.
Fabulous 103.
Fabulous 103 FM. Yeah. And then there's also Surf 1025 in Hua Hin. So there are a couple, like if you know where to tune in, you can listen to these English stations. I was listening to Fabulous the other day and I heard Rick D's Top 4. I didn't know he was still on the air. My gosh. Unless they're rerunning old
Gotta be.
programs.
Is he still alive?
I don't know. I heard him yesterday on Fabulous 103.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Echo, is Rick Dees still alive? Echo, is Rick Dees still alive?
Rick Dees and his cast of idiots living members, Rick Dees.
What? She didn't answer me. Rick Dees is Rick Dees still alive? Rick Dees, yeah, it looks like he's still alive. Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
I know someone whose program is ending, that I thought ended many years ago. He was played on our college station, Dr. Demento.
Wow.
Where did
apparently.
I heard something about that. that he was going off the air, and I didn't know he was still alive. You know.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
But then
either,
again,
no.
who am I to talk? There are people who go saying to their, echo, "Hey, is Alex Bennett still alive?" Well, actually, it should be Gilbert Godfrey's voice, because that makes a lot more sense.
Hi, this is Gilbert Gottfried.
Wait a minute, that's not the one that I want. Where is it? What happened? I had him. St. Alex, mom, fault quote. Oh, okay. Here we go.
Alex Bennett is still alive?
There we go. Okay. And the answer is yes, barely. By the way, I went to my leukemia every 6-month deal, and he told me the blood work looks okay. You're not dying anytime soon. Come back and see me in 6 months. So, but meanwhile they suck 4 or 5 of these tubes out of me of blood. I'm going, how much do you need? And they say, well, so they send it out, and then as it's coming through, I have this thing called My Chart from Mount Sinai, and as the blood tests are coming back, my watch starts going off. And I can go then get my blood tests as they're coming in. But it took them a while this time. They must have been out to lunch or something, but, Anyway, I thought you might like to know I'm okay for the time being, so.
Good.
Yeah, good. How's everything with you, Brian? Have you got a new house yet? What's the story?
Do you notice you don't see your beautiful picture?
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait a minute. You're in a new house.
Yeah, I'm in my new house.
Really? Is that
Wow.
you don't
That's
seem
great.
to have any furniture yet, though.
No, because my pod is still with
Pods.
Yeah, my container.
Oh, so you got one of those pod things, and then they go put it in storage, and now they got to bring it back.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
let's see the new place.
So my house is all torn up. Where am I? Oh, here we go. Yeah. So I need my sandals because it's. So I got the keys on Monday, and Tuesday we started ripping out the whole house. Hold on.
When did you get the Wi-Fi?
This is just on regular stuff. So all the stairs are gone. All the carpeting is gone here. The railing is gone.
Oh,
We're gonna
boy.
put custom railing in.
Mm-hmm.
My God, I don't have 5 lights up here. Mm-hmm. And then, so this is my bedroom. I know it's really exciting. Oh, in my closet, I have a toilet. It's really cool.
Wow.
Oh, wait a minute.
That's in my closet.
Stored there, right?
Yeah. So my bedroom's here, and then what we did was this wall, we moved the wall 16 inches because the wall was like over here somewhere, and everything was so crunched. So we brought it out 16 inches. I'm gonna have an all open bathroom here. Oh, there goes my cat. There's my cat.
We just lost.
No.
What?
My cat's going in the house. And then washer dryer, no floors here. Bathroom is going to get yanked out. Oh, I have no lights in here.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one bedroom. Then this is Adrian's room. She has a view. Mm-hmm. She has a balcony.
Wow.
Outside. Yeah.
But Bree just sent a note saying you need my email address.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's alex@gabnet.net.
Okay.
Why? What are you sending me? Let me see here. Oh, wow. So you.
Yeah, it's coming along. So the whole upstairs is all torn apart, and they'll start putting everything back together on Saturday.
Now, wait, let me ask you a question. What weren't you satisfied with in the first place? I mean, you buy a house.
This was the one that I've wanted because it was a fixer-upper and 3-bedroom, 3-bath, but it was all carpet and all like 1980s style. So the lady lived in it for a long time, but
because it was a fixer-upper, Did you get a good price on it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and then this was all a wall here, and we took that wall out here. Yeah, so.
Well, you really
Yeah,
had
so
you really had these people going to work pretty fast, haven't you?
Yeah, only 2 days, and they've done all this work here. And the kitchen will be all redone, all hardwood floors down here. And then this is the big thing is, this is the kitchen, so it's sort of small when you look at it, but this whole wall we're going to take out.
Ah.
And then it'll be open, and you can see into the living room. So they'll have an island here, so it's going to be nice.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, so really, you're pretty much redoing the whole place is what you're doing.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so that's why I wanted this one. And then it kept on the market because nobody wanted it because it was so trashed. And then
do you enjoy
let
me ask you, do you enjoy going through that process? Is this something that gives you enjoyment?
Yeah, because I can make everything my own, just like cars. You know, I like getting the cars.
Well, what I'm saying is that I watch a show called Grand Design. It's a British show, and they go out and they watch people build their homes, right? And obviously, they don't go for people who aren't going to have problems or underestimating how much it's going to cost.
By a lot.
Yeah. And I watch the miseries these people go through building their house. And I'm going, I wouldn't want to go through that. I would just say, hey, do what you got to do. I'll be back when you're finished, you know?
Yeah. So that's a good thing because I'm in here for like 2 weeks and they're going to have all the upstairs almost done. And then I go with Adrian to the Dance Nationals in Vegas for a week. And then when I come back, all the upstairs will be done, and then they'll be doing the bottom stuff. These guys are very quick.
You have a room for her, right?
Yes, her own room, and she has a full design with. It has vaulted ceilings up there, so she has a design where you have these steps going up to her bed, and then underneath. She wanted a desk, but I said, "Babe, you're getting too big, too fast." So I'm gonna have like a little lounge down there for her with a little TV. She can watch her YouTube stuff. So
good. It sounds like you're going to be enjoying it. It's amazing.
And a 2-car garage.
It's amazing how fast you move in and out of homes. It just amazes me.
I'm done. I'm dying in this one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Unless I hit the lottery.
Well, the next time you're going to go, I'm getting too old for this stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if
this is the only bad thing is I'm on an air mattress in the living room, for a couple weeks, but it's okay.
Oh, really? Oh, that's kind of like a guy broke up with his girlfriend. Anyway, but, feel good for Charlie. He has a place to sleep, Well,
I was at that hotel for 2 months.
Yeah.
I was at that hotel for 2 months, and I met these old ladies, and they said, "So what happened to you? You get kicked out of your house?" I said, "No, I ran. I ran away."
Oh, you ran away. So anyway, Josh, we're running out of time here. I was going to say, I think the best thing we can say is that we're screwed. There's a lot going on that just, I never thought I'd see in my lifetime. This is like being taken over by a dictator, I know you don't think it can happen because we've got a democracy that's strong and solid, but we've got a guy who's figuring out a way to dismantle it, He's got the tools to dismantle it. So, I don't know. I really don't know. You're not feeling good about it, are you, Kevin?
No, not at all.
Yeah, right.
We're stuck with it.
Yep. I guess we are stuck with it. I don't have buyer's remorse. So,
No, I can imagine. I'd like to know how many of the protesters down there voted for him. That'd be interesting to find out.
I think that there was a large Mexican population that voted for him.
Yep.
And I think, what do you call it? Latino.
I know a lot of them down around here that did.
And now they
just chased one out of CVS the other day.
And what I'm saying is, there's got to be a lot of buyer's remorse there, because your family's being shipped off to El Salvador. Anyway,
Karma is a bitch.
Thank you, Kevin. Nice having you here. Charlie, always good having you here. It's Josh Wheeler, great having you here. Brian, nice place. Well, I can't say that. It's kind of not fixed up yet, but I'm sure it's going to be really nice. And thanks to Bree, who makes us all jealous when he's eating food, but he isn't. You aren't eating food today. Why? You don't want to make us jealous at how little you spend on food over there?
I've got a meeting at noon, and I'll go after that.
Ladies
and sometimes they feed us.
Okay, everybody give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye at you. Okay, there they go. That's our citizen panel. I'll tell you what's up next. It's Amy Manuel and The Intersection. She'll be taking your calls on Zoom. And you just simply call her by going to our Gabnet page, and in the third row at the bottom, you'll see my name, you'll see her name. Click on her name, and that'll take you to her Zoom, okay, to her show. I'll see you again tomorrow, same time, same station in life. In the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody. We'll see you later.